to my channel. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Today we are going to be talking about toddler nutrition and early childhood nutrition. And it's going to be one part, so part one of a multi-part series that I wanted to film on early childhood nutrition, their nutrient needs, their eating habits, and also maybe dive into some of the dietary cautions that you might want to be aware of if you have young children. This video is for all the mommies and all the daddies who feel any type of stress related to feeding their toddler, because believe me, if you do not know, I am a mother of a 2-year-old daughter myself, so I completely feel your pain and your stress. Believe me, it's rough. Your 1-year-old or your 2-year-old is going through a lot of changing at this time in their life. They are learning to walk, to stand, and then around 2 years old, they're even going to be learning to run and jump. Now, in order to be doing all of this, they are going to need the right amount of energy. They're going to be needing the right amount of nutrients. They need food, and they need a lot of it in order to keep their energy up. During this time, they are accumulating such a large amount of mass. They are also gaining bone density, they are gaining muscle tissue, and they also need to make sure that they have enough calories and energy to develop the refinement of their nervous system coordination. From the time of birth up until about 12 months of age, your baby is most likely going to be exclusively breastfed or exclusively fed formula. At around 4 months of age, we normally start to introduce the pureed fruits and the pureed vegetables into the diet, along with some types of finger foods or cereal. And then between 12 months of age and 24 months, their diet takes a drastic turn. Everything changes. They are now getting their energy and their calories from adult modified foods. And this isn't to say that they're not also being supplemented with breast milk or formula here and there. A lot of parents even choose to introduce cow's milk into their baby's diet at this time as well. But for the most part, they are getting the majority of their caloric needs met from adult foods. So let's talk about energy intake, calories, and macronutrients for your toddler. As far as energy intake is going to go, it's definitely going to be different from child to child. It's going to depend on their growth, and it's also going to depend on how active they are. But on average, a 1-year-old child is going to be needing about 800 calories per day. Around 2 years old, that need is going to jump up just a little bit to about 1,000 calories per day for inactive and active 2-year-olds. And then at 3 years old, an active 3-year-old can need up to 2,000 calories, which is about the same as an adult. So energy intake is going to be something you definitely want to make sure that you are knowledgeable about when it comes to feeding your toddler. Now, there are some parents who, choose to feed their toddlers plant-based diets. They do not want to feed their babies or toddlers any types of animal products like meat or milk, dairy products, that kind of thing. And, these children who are vegetarians or vegan, their energy requirements are going to be just the same. And it is just sometimes a little bit harder to get their caloric needs as high as they need to be, just because a lot of the time plant-based foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, that type of thing, they're not as calorically dense as animal products, as meat products, that kind of thing. So you definitely want to make sure that if you are only feeding your baby a plant-based diet, that you are introducing them to different types of soy products, to legumes, to nuts, nut butters, things like that. Foods that are nutrient dense but also calorically dense and also have protein in them as well, so that you can make sure to keep their energy and their caloric intake up. Now, let's talk about the macronutrients for your toddler. Again, these are all going to be averages. They are not specific for every child, and I'm definitely not trying to tell my audience or whoever's watching this video that this is what they need to do. These are just averages and, you know, just good knowledge to know if you have a toddler or a young child and you just kind of want to know what types of foods to feed them to make sure that they meet their protein, carbohydrate, and fat needs. Now, for protein, the DRI for protein for toddlers is going to be in between about 10% to 15% of their daily caloric intake to be protein. And on average, this is going to be about 11 grams to about 13 grams of protein. For carbohydrates, the daily recommended intake for carbohydrates is going to be about 50% to 60% of their daily caloric needs coming from carbohydrates. And with toddlers, it's especially important to focus on fiber, just as it is with adults or adolescents or anybody else. Fiber is extremely important. And the DRI for fiber for 1-year-olds to 3-year-olds is going to be about 19 grams of fiber per day. And this can easily be met by providing your toddler with different types of fruits and vegetables along with whole grains. Babies love to eat fruits. And, you know, sneaking vegetables in isn't that hard. So we definitely want to make sure we keep their fiber intakes at about 19 grams per day. Now, let's talk about fat. The DRI for fat for toddlers is in between 30% to 40% of their daily caloric intake. And when it comes to fat, we really want to make sure that we are providing our children with the correct types of fats. We want to make sure that we're providing them with essential fatty acids. They really need these essential fats for their eye development, for their nerve development, and for the development of all the other tissues in their body. We really want to make sure that we are, if at all possible, staying completely away from any trans fats and keeping all saturated fats to an absolute minimum. It's okay to have some here and there, but we really want to make sure that the fats we're providing for our children are going to be the essential fatty acids. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. That's going to be it for the energy intake and macronutrient part of the series. Be sure to stay tuned for the next video, which is going to be about vitamins and minerals. So we're going to dive into all of that next time. Again, please subscribe to my channel and like the video, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.